Hello YouTube, you've found Hidden Trevor here. Today I have some lessons on football uniform etiquette for you guys. So let me explain. Football is a product. The NFL generated $23 billion in the 24-25 season alone. That's a lot of cash. And with advancements in technology over the years, we now can watch games in crystal clear 8K high definition in the comfort of your own home. So surely the NFL makes it a priority to ensure that the teams that trot out onto the field don't assault our eyeballs to keep up with that idea of being a polished high-end product, right? Yeah, not really. It should come as no surprise given that each of the NFL's 32 teams are owned by old white guys, but the NFL has no sense of style. On a week-to-week basis, there's at least 3 or 4 games in which the uniform matchup is horrifically ugly. Sure, most of the NFL's teams have decent or even good-looking uniforms individually, but teams routinely wear suboptimal looks, and there are 2 teams that play in a game, so just like when Megan and Jessica showed up to prom wearing the same dress, there's very little coordination happening between the 2 teams. So what makes a uniform matchup between 2 teams look good, and what makes a matchup look bad? Well, there's some subjectivity at play. For example, your favorite color may be green, and I prefer blue, so naturally I'm going to like the Lions uniforms better than the Packers. But let's set aside color preferences and team allegiances for a second. All fans, after all, no matter what team you're a fan of, has to sit in front of the TV for hours every Sunday to watch the game. Is it too much to ask that the game look good? I don't think so. I think it's pretty obvious when a uniform matchup looks bad. You just kind of know it when you see it.
Oh, that's not so much. So?
Getting to the good matchups is more of a science, and I think it boils down to a few things. 1. There needs to be good contrast between the 2 teams. Some teams obviously use the same colors or have very similar colors. The basic solution to this was figured out a long time ago. Traditionally, the team on the road wears white. Somehow, though, teams still find ways to ruin the contrast by matching the pants colors or different elements of the uniform to the home team. 2. NFL teams don't seem to treat all uniform elements equally. Socks are frequently neglected and treated as unimportant when they can make all the difference. Players are usually wearing socks or undershirts in different styles than their teammates, and that doesn't look great. When teams come out unified in their look, the game looks better. 3. The NFL, to their credit, tried to spice things up with their Color Rush program and more recently with the Rivalry Series alternate uniforms. Good ideas on paper, but they're hampered by a few things. Infamously, the Jets and Bills Color Rush game was unwatchable for people who are red-green colorblind. So they definitely should have thought about things like that when they drew up that particular uniform matchup. And with the Rivals series uniforms, whatever they call it, it is odd that one team wears a special alternate jersey and then the other team is just wearing a standard look. Maybe both teams should have a cool alternate instead of just one team, but I don't know. It would look less weird to me. 4. Contrast, utilizing every element that you have at your disposal and coming out looking like an actual team. Those things might not be enough. Those things can't fix ugly. If your base uniform is ugly, it's going to lead to ugly matchups. One team can't fix the other team's lack of fashion. So anyway, let's go through some examples and go over how proper uniform etiquette could have saved some matchups from looking terrible. When I was in high school, I played football all 4 years and our colors were red and black, so we had quite a few different looks. Generally, if we had a good week of practice, the coaches would let us pick our combo for that next game. But my head coach had some stipulations. he stipulated that we maintain color balance. So in other words, the socks had to match the jersey or balance out the helmet. We only ever had black helmets. So like if we wanted to wear red, we'd go like black helmet, red jersey, red pants, but black socks. Not red socks, black socks. Okay? So if you take anything away from this video, it should be that socks are really important for color balance, and wearing the same color head to toe almost always looks stupid. To lead off the charge here, we have the Chargers. The Chargers' new uniform set is honestly one of the best in the league. I really like what they did with them. As part of the new set, they added yellow pants back into the mix, and of course, they decided to wear them against the Steelers, who notoriously wear yellow pants 99.9% of the time. Just a really questionable time for the Chargers to bust out the yellow. They could have worn light blue pants. White pants would have been an okay choice. Shoot, they even debuted a new alternate uniform this last season that is navy blue head to toe. Would have been an incredible time to wear those. This was a Monday night game as well, so the whole country was subjected to copious amounts of yellow for that one. Generally speaking, I believe the home team has first dibs on what they wear each week, so that the away team knows what to pack for the trip. The Steelers basically only have one road look, so I place the blame on the Chargers here. It's bad etiquette. Sticking with the Chargers, it's always confusing when they play the Rams. Of course, both teams are in LA and play in the same stadium. It's really arbitrary in that instance which team is designated the home team and which team is the road team. With the Rams' somewhat recent rebrand after they moved back to LA, they too have adopted some totally tubular California shades of blue and yellow, just like the Chargers have. So anyone trying to watch the game at a bar or some other setting where they aren't close to the TV, well, they might have a pretty tough time telling which team is which. Why do they not coordinate? I don't know. Chargers in all yellow or navy blue, Rams in white or their off-white bone color, which is like a really light gray. Anything like that would have helped. Anything with more contrast than this would have been helpful. Next up here we have the Jaguars playing the Raiders. The Jaguars' primary color is teal, but you wouldn't know that looking at this photo because it is completely absent from their uniforms. Why the Jaguars would insist on bringing their black pants to wear against the Raiders is beyond me. The Raiders are famous for being black and silver, you know. They have teal pants as an option. Here they are wearing them against the Titans, who are wearing light blue and white. So this is a classic example of wearing the wrong uniform for the wrong game. Black would have been great for the Titans game. Teal would have been great for the Raiders game. If they just switched those around, they'd be cooking. But they are not. In general, there are too many teams in the NFL with dark colors. Lots of teams wear black, and a few teams, like my Detroit Lions, have even added black alternates for really no reason. As a result, you inevitably end up with a lot of games that look like this one, where there just isn't a lot of contrast between the two teams. Keep in mind, in football, there are dog piles and people colliding into each other, so at times it might be hard to tell what you're looking at. Whose leg is that? Whose helmet is that? When they're in a dog pile, you can't tell if, they're all the same color. Here's another example with the Saints and Falcons. They play each other twice a year as divisional rivals. You'd think they'd learn to coordinate better. You'd think that the Falcons would figure out a way to get red uniform elements to wear against the Saints. Maybe the Saints load up on gold for that game, but no. They just kind of go with the same old kind of look. You need more contrast than just the jersey, you should have, really ideally, you should have every element contrast with the other team. But that just doesn't happen a lot. Here's another rather tragic example, and I say tragic because I think both the Giants and Bills look pretty fantastic in a vacuum, but when they're playing each other, that's just a whole lot of red, white, and blue. It's probably even worse for old heads who are used to the Bills wearing red lids. For pretty much their entire existence, the Bills and Giants have looked pretty similar. So this is the exact time one of them should bust out an alternate look. The Bills do have red pants as an option still, though I do think this example is kind of a tricky one. The Giants, of course, have like pretty different road looks versus home. Their home is primarily blue, and their road look is primarily white with red trim. So if the Giants wore white at home, there'd be more red elements in their uniform, and then do the Bills wear blue or red in that scenario? I don't know. So it's kind of a tricky one. The best solution probably would be for the Giants to wear white at home in that instance and have the Bills go all blue. Yeah, I mean, some teams just have the same colors. What are you going to do? In that instance, especially, they both just have stripes. So it's not like there's a totally unique design element there. That's why I'm a fan of teams like the Seahawks, who have really embraced like unique elements into their uniforms that just other teams don't have. Those uniforms have been around a long time. I think they're a little bit dated now, but I think they're a good example. I really like what the Broncos have done with their uniforms. They look very modern, but also hard to confuse with any other team. I mean, the only other blue and orange team is the Bears, and the Bears have like traditional striping. So good move for the Broncos to go with that more modern look that's not just traditional. So those are my thoughts about uniform etiquette. I think the NFL should really step their game up in terms of making the product that we watch on our screens a little bit better to look at sometimes, because sometimes they completely fail at it. There are times where it's a complete disaster, honestly. So there is that. And don't get me wrong, they do get it right most of the time. You just happen to remember the ones where they completely mess it up a lot more than the times they get it right. But anyway, have a good day. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you think I'm a little too hyper fixated about it. But anyway, have a good day.